What's up, everybody, man? We're back with another podcast. We got Daniel joining us today from
Houston, Texas. Thank you so much, Geraldo, for having me.
Oh, for sure, man. So I understand you got some questions. My buddy Jeremy reached out to us and texted us in a text group chat, and then you had questions. Man, I said, might as well put on a podcast.
Yeah. I think having questions and striking as like a normal conversation is what makes a podcast great. So, so Jeremy, if you're watching this, thanks for putting us together. And
Jeremy better be watching.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna send them all links. But it's amazing what you've built, Geraldo.
Thank you.
I think like you're one of the most well-known people in the industry in Houston.
Thank you.
And when I think of like auto shops, I think of Deviate all the time. So
awesome.
Jeremy speaks nothing but great things about you, and I've watched you work over the years. So this is amazing what you've done. Thank
you, man. It means a lot. Since 1997.
Yeah,
I'm an OG in the game. I didn't even know.
I was 6 years old when you started. So
oh great. Shit, yeah, 6 years old, man. I was already flipping wheels and tires.
Yeah, so I guess one of the first questions I have is, or the basis for all of this is, I'm opening up a business similar to this with my little brother and one of his best friends, and I think you accepting the fact that like already knowing that we're doing this and saying, hey, come on in, is just a pure example of how great Geraldo really is. When you're successful and at the top, there's no such thing as competition, and I think
that's definitely come with experience. I used to be like, I'm not telling you nothing back in the day.
Yeah.
But
same thing, man. What I've learned is even if you tell everybody everything and you give them the tools, 99% of the people won't even execute.
Exactly. That's 100% right.
Yeah. So I love what you're doing, and we're opening a store here real soon, and super excited to.
So what are you doing in the store? Like, what's going to be your specialties?
Yeah. So at first we started as wanting to just do like car wraps, PPF, window tint. And maybe later on down the line we'll do some performance upgrades, maybe like a small mechanic shop that doesn't involve taking out the entire engine bay and things of that nature.
You say that now.
Yeah, as
things happen.
Yeah, that'll be great. As I think if demand grows for us, that would be amazing to do. But we definitely want to start small and
very good.
Focus on a couple things. My business partner John is incredibly knowledgeable in this field, and my other business partner is my little brother. So doing this with family is probably
even better.
Yeah, even better. So just showing them the ropes too.
As long as y'all understand that at the end of the time, like, y'all can be each other's worst enemy at the same time, because partnership can be a little complex.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so just know that. That's why I've never done partnership. But man, I've heard stories, but then again, there's also a lot of successful stories, man. Just be humble about it.
Yeah,
all of y'all.
Yeah, no, definitely from my experience, because I own 5 businesses. So
very good.
From my experience, like I've had amazing and I've had terrible. Good. My best friends turn into my enemies, like you say, but then some of my best friends turn into even better best friends, almost like brothers, and
you gotta turn your idols into rivals, man.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's amazing. So, and I think you never know until you actually walk down that path.
I think you learn more from the mishaps and the tragedy stories than the successful stories. That's how you keep learning,
Yeah. I don't know if you listened to him, but Andrew Tate said that.
The one who just got banned on everything.
Every social. Shout out to Andrew Tate.
Yep.
Difficult times and adversities build capable men.
100%.
And I think what's wrong with a lot of people nowadays is when we talk about the 99% of the people who won't execute, those are the individuals that won't walk down these difficult paths, and they won't be capable men.
100% right. Yeah. So, I mean, one thing for me, I learned what not to do, and then I've gotten burned so many times that I just kind of became impervious to it. And so when he said you want to give him advice, he's opening a wrap shop in PPF and detailing, I said, well, shit, that's a competitor, man. But yeah, come on in. The waters are warm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think how many people are in Houston? 5 million?
Yeah.
And if you could service 10 million cars.
0.5% of one. Yeah.
Yeah. More power to you, But I learned that from Jeremy as well.
For sure, 100%. Yeah.
I think that's why, I've developed the mindset that I have is honestly, majority of it is because of Jeremy. He's been, like we talked about, a very capable man.
Jeremy is the right person to model after.
Yeah.
That man, I've known him since he was a bartender. he ain't bartending no more.
No,
you know,
he
ain't bartending no more.
No,
so
occasionally at home, but you know.
Yeah, definitely at home, more than occasionally, I'm sure. But I mean, that's my point. Is like you model yourself and you surround yourself with successful-minded people, and then and it'll influence you in the long run.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned that because I used to hang around the bad crowd and I didn't get anything from it.
Yeah.
So we dropped out of that one real quick.
Absolutely. So I want to dive into some questions. I want to know a little bit about your mindset. You know, I know this is your podcast, but
feel free, man. All the talking. I don't even know what the questions are about. So
this is going to be great. So it's not rehearsed, just so you guys know. So the first question I want to ask you is like, how did you develop like your automotive skill sets? Like, did it just come to you or?
No. So like I said, in 1997, when we started Bel Air and Dairy Ashford, I didn't know how to put air in a tire.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Bel Air and Dairy Ashford is like
iconic A-Leaf,
Yeah, Chinatown A-Leaf type.
It's one of the main intersections in H-Town. And I was lucky enough because there was no social media back then, not even MySpace. So for Elsik and Hastings to be right there, that was like social media to me. Like I got known quick in A-Leaf, you know? So like I said, I didn't know how to put air in a tire. And I remember we got a lot of used tires in from a connection my dad had at Firestone to set up a used tire inventory.
Wow.
And a guy came rolling in, man, like at 9 o'clock at night. We're setting up tires. And my dad said to put them in order. And I didn't know what order to put them in. So I just put them in stacks, like a 15 with a 16 and so forth, you know. A guy came driving on the street, said, man, I need a used tire. I said, $40. And he asked me the tire size. I said, well, man, I don't understand all that. Just pick a tire. And he picked a tire. He gave me $40. And I got so excited. I made my first sale of the shop. And I went inside and just yelling at my dad. I made $40. And he took the 40 from me. He said, go do it again. And that's how I got involved. You know, like I said, I really learned what not to do. So if you notice when you came in here, I'm taking apart a brand new GLE over there.
Yeah.
But when I first took apart a stereo, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, man. I took it apart with a screwdriver, and I made an indentation on the dashboard.
Oh.
Dude, I fucking learned what not to do. I'm telling you, 100%. I mean, there was no YouTube. There was no mentors. There was nobody. And look, now I got Terrence Brooks with the Texans walking in my showroom right now as we speak. And so I just how
That's
it works.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, man. What's the next question?
So that kind of leads me to two questions. That's great. So I guess is what are you noticing, whether good or bad, from now compared to the past, of things not to do and things to do, especially dealing with an auto shop?
Customer has to leave happy, no matter what. He can come in here and completely be belligerent and not understanding of what he's asking, because some of the worst customers in custom auto scene that I have seen are first timers that expect perfection. And it's not the case. It's all custom, right? So no matter how disrespectful they can be, they can't leave unhappy. That's your job first and foremost. They have to leave happy, because a happy customer will give you a referral. There's been many times, I remember I got chewed out one time by a customer because I forgot to do something to his car, and he was pretty pissed. And I said, before you leave, you're gonna give me a 5-star review. And he said, yeah, I ain't doing shit, Waldo. And we came and did it, and I forgot what it was. I made him laugh, and sure enough, he left me a 5-star review before he left. He's like, I don't know how you did it, but I want to give you a 5-star, and that's what it's about, man. In my opinion.
Yeah, customers are always right. I think all of us have our fair share of bad experiences.
Yeah.
So have you ever gone to another auto shop to get your car repaired, or do you do everything?
One time.
Just to try it, or?
No, and it was by accident. So I'm from Eagle Pass, Texas. That's where I was born at.
Okay.
And so we're going to Eagle Pass, Texas, and before I left, I needed an oil change. I just forgot to do it.
Oh, okay.
I'm at the shop. I'm working on a customer's car. My car doesn't pay.
Yeah.
So past San Antonio, I'm like, shit, my oil changed. Yeah. So I went to a Goodyear over there in Eagle Pass that's been there forever. Mm-hmm. And man, I was just so nervous about what they're gonna put in my car. Are they gonna put used oil in my car? And I was basically, man, please don't break my car. That's all I asked. And it was like $150 for probably a synthetic blend. I got ripped off. And I was just happy that my car ran, and immediately my self-worth, my value went up in my head. The comfort I provide to my customers. You don't got to worry about that with me, so.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's awesome. Good. I've definitely heard great things about the shop. What are some bad experiences that has made you a better shop owner that new shop owners should be aware of?
Fuck, man, you got a couple hours?
So give me a top Top two.
One of the things I have noticed, if you come in here and you notice, I really don't have another salesperson.
That's true.
It's just me. Because I have had, and I built right-hand man, and I built salespeople, and each one of them were expensive, and each one of them burned me, and they stole from the customer. The customer would leave negative reviews based on them, but at the end of the day, it's my shop that got the negative review. So the last one I had, man, he just completely would lie to the customer and give so many excuses to the customer that when I finally caught on to it, it was already too late.
Oh, damn.
So we let him go, and then, man, one by one, they all started coming back immediately. Like, one guy was just so pissed off, he threatened to go to Marvin Zindler. I said, bro, he's not even alive anymore. But he was just so pissed off that he's like, I'm going to go to the news channel because the ex-salesperson had sold him stuff that wasn't for his car. And so what I told him before we crossed that path of him doing the customers bad, I said, don't just sell whatever you can get, man. Like, you got to sell stuff that you are confident in, because at the end of the day, your customer's your customer. And because we provide mechanic work and body work and custom work, he's not going to go to a Firestone and NTB and another competitor and they're going to blame each other. They're going to come to me and you got one person to point the finger at. So you put quality items on the car to begin with, and he just put like the cheapest mud train tires on somebody who wanted a quiet ride because it was cheap. He was maximizing profit. So that was one thing right there. Another thing I had when I was at Sharpstown, I had a right-hand man over there, and if you know me, man, I hate doing things twice. I like to do it right the first time.
Yeah, same.
It's easier for you and easier for me. So
saves time.
Yeah, it saves time for everybody. So we did an alignment, and anyways, customer called me back. He's like, he's drifting to the right. I said, shit, come on in, I'll do it right away. So when I hung up the phone, I had like 4 more cars to do immediately, and I was gonna put a stop to all that. So my salesperson said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. So I'm watching him, and he takes the car, he talks to the customer, he's all nice to the customer, and nicer than I could have been, because I'm like, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm not happy about it just as much you're not happy about it. I'm not gonna kiss your ass, So he's really kissing the ass of the customer, takes the car inside my alignment rack, puts it up in the air, and he started looking with a flashlight. So I walk over there and I'm like, what you looking at? He's like, nothing. I said, what the fuck you pointing your light at? He said, watch. So he's like, teach me a lesson, So he goes to the customer, tell the customer he has a bent control arm, that my apology that we didn't catch it the first time, and because of that, I'm not gonna charge you for the alignment. I'll put that money towards your control arm. You're gonna end up owing me another $480 because the new one's like twice as much. I found a good used one, and I'm like, what the fuck, this dude's lying, but at the same time, it's my shop, and I can't just tell, hey, you're lying, because then it makes the shop look messy. So when the customer left, I said, see, imagine make the shop an extra $500, and that really was somebody putting money in your register, but in the long run, they're burning your company name, and so that was awkward, and that was like a really weird spot to be in, what I'm saying? But he didn't make it past the day, and I took him outside. I said, you're fired. He said, man, you know what I do for the shop and this and that, and I pointed up to my sign. I said, what's that sign say? He said, DV Autosport. I said, that sign was on the wall before you, during you, and it'll be here after you, man. Goodbye. And that was it. And that was just 2 things. That's nothing.
Damn.
That's
amazing.
Yeah, so.
I mean, that's character, man, because a thing I've learned from like my mentors, one of them is Jeremy, is there's 2 ways to do business. One is long term, which you make less money, but over time it's going to pay off tenfold, maybe 1,000-fold. 100%. And then the other one is you make an exorbitant amount of money in this short period of time. You burn all bridges, and then your name just tarnishes. But I definitely love the reputation of long term, because I mean, as businessmen, we're in it for the long term. That
a lot of people fall into that trap really big.
Yeah.
A lot of lives are ruined.
Yeah, no, fast money, man. It's like it's I mean, definitely a temptation, but I definitely respect that,
man. In this business, I've been offered so many things, man. So back in the days, I got offered to be in charge of a certain drug for Houston, and I turned it down. I said, man, I can walk down the street with a VTEC head on my shoulder and nobody's gonna say anything to me. I get busted with this. What my parents gonna say? Because he said you'll be a millionaire in a week. So the first thing I thought about was what my parents are gonna say. Cause I can't hide that. And luckily, I told them I'm not interested. This conversation never happened. Fast forward about 7 years later, man, they're all in jail for manslaughter. And I would have been right there with him. And so that really put a lot of things in perspective for me, because fast forward, my dad passed away. And so my mom and my brother would have been left without me, because I would have been locked up too. And I would never have my kids. I wouldn't have my shop. I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. So I didn't chase that fast money, man. I chased the dream, I guess you can say, instead.
Yeah, no, it definitely speaks volumes. Yeah. Man. Definitely a lot of respect. The next question I have is, you talk about right-hand man. I think like in business, we all know, because right now I'm kind of having the same issue, right? It's like you're trying to find this individual. You find this person, you're trying to find this person that is trying to be your right-hand man, that you want to be your right-hand man / assistant. But I was telling my best friend, I was like, man, I look for a very contradicting role. I'm looking for someone who needs to be my assistant, but also a leader. And he told me one thing. He was like, you're looking for the wrong person. You need to find someone that's self-sufficient. So let me ask you this, is you say you have no salesman. It's all been on you. You kind of fired your right-hand man because of that issue.
100%, yeah.
What are some steps that you took to find the most loyal people on your team? Because like I always say, like, blood doesn't make you family. Loyalty makes you family, right?
Hire character, builds skill.
But that takes time.
It does take time, but that's the time we got. We're at work anyways, man. So here, my guys that I have here, all of them walked in. Man, just yesterday I found out that one of my techs was telling another tech that he didn't know alignments when he first came in, and he bullshitted me that he knew alignments. And I'm like, what, man? You owe me back pay, bro? Because in 3 weeks he learned alignments, and now he's my main alignment guy anyways. So my point is, like Ruben out there, he didn't know how to do Chrome deletes or anything like that, and now he's my go-to guy for Chrome deletes, and he's my guy for alignments and my lead tech. I mean, everyone learned while they're here, and the most important thing that I can do when they're learning is take care of my customer no matter what. So I have had a team meeting with my staff, and what I told them maybe sounded like a dick, but it wasn't. I said I would rather lose a customer. No, I'd rather lose an employee than lose a customer. And they were like, "Well, we feel weird about that." I'm like, "Well, think about it, man. The customers is why I have my shelter, man. Yeah. So just I gave weekends off. That was another thing, man. Giving weekends off really kept my a stable team, because now they don't want to go anywhere else. They have paid days off and weekends off. No other shops do that.
So essentially, you invested in that person, gave him the right time. Yeah. Even though you got finesse, you still like, you know what? Because I feel like that's happened to me a lot. You know, like
it's gonna happen. Man.
I believe in people, because people always, you know, it's like a job when you're trying to apply when you come out of college. You know, most jobs you apply for, and you have that degree, but most jobs you apply for at the very bottom that you want that salary, they're like, need experience, need 3 years of experience. But it's like, I always believe that, like, if no one gives you that ability to earn that experience, how can you ever earn that experience? You know? So no, I definitely respect you for
everybody
that,
done that.
No, I think everybody has finesse, but you can't finesse a resume, you know?
No, you cannot.
Yeah. So
even though they have.
yeah. So, okay. So no salespeople, which is impressive. You've been in the business for a long time, obviously, but do you guys do any like digital marketing, ads on platforms? Because I know you're doing this, right? Because this is going to be an organic way to grow. I came from a social media background. Okay. I've been doing it for like 7 years. All my businesses, not all my businesses, but most of my businesses are social media based. Oh, wow, so I kind of am in the digital,
jumpstart.
Yeah. So I'm in the digital marketing space, but like for someone like you, who has operated on the organic way for years, right? You kind of operate in terms of marketing as if it were back in the day. So what are you guys doing now for like marketing to grow?
So now, I think as of 7 months ago, I met Caleb, and he's my videographer. And he said, "Man, your life is a movie. We got to put it out there," because I didn't do any professional, I guess you could say, videos. Yeah. And I still don't. But it's not me doing it, and that's what he knows how to edit videos and all that. So before that, I was pretty much just solely based on my Facebook and Instagram posts that I would do myself. And I didn't really believe that I needed it, but times had changed. And if you don't put out there in video, as you know, so that's a new world for me. And so we're doing the podcast now, and so we have 2 YouTube channels and 2 different TikToks. like the DV Autosport
Oh,
business
I love that.
one,
Yeah, yeah.
and then my personal one where I can be a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still relaxed on both, you know.
Yeah.
But it's been life changing to know that I've impacted people on social media. Man, I had a customer calling from Austin, Texas. Well, he commented on my TikTok. He said, "Man, I don't need anything on my truck. I just bought a brand new 2022 Tacoma. Well, I'm gonna find a reason to come to you." And man, about maybe 3 months later, he popped up and he said, "You remember my comment on TikTok?" So he came in for a custom interior job. We had another guy who towed his car from Florida because of my TikTok. So I mean, it really has reach.
Wow.
You know, yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
like they feel family already.
So essentially, you don't do any paid traffic. You're just doing all organic.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Not $1 ever.
So I read that sign out there. I think that sign really struck to me. I think I looked at it like maybe 5 to 10 times. But the quote says, "Treat every customer as if they're a millionaire."
Oh yeah,
Your
my
mom
mom's.
said that,
Yeah.
right? So I love that because you're, 1, customer's always right. 2, customer service. 3, you treat them like they're a millionaire.
Not always right, but they gotta be happy.
Right. Okay. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're telling them things that they don't want to hear, but they need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So how have you ever dealt with like a customer that has been so outrageous to where you really don't want to deal with them, or have you ever dealt with like a non-paying customer?
Yeah.
Like you've done the job already, and then
So
they
in
come
A-Leaf, we used to, well, my dad mostly, he would let people pay in payments, and we had a notebook, man, this thick, of money owed to my shop and my dad. And I realized during that process that if you give someone a payment plan,
Right.
first of all, you're not gonna pay it back most time, right?
Yeah, the people who accept the payment plans aren't going to pay.
Yeah, but what happens is this: I lost a customer because you have no more. You can't show your face over here anymore. So if I would have just said I can only do it for this much money, you would have came up with the money. I would have kept my customer. So the customer that he let go on these terms, they never came back. So I'm like, man, what's the point of letting them go? And on top of that, you lose a customer. So, and they always have a negative thing to say about you because they don't have it in them to say I didn't pay. Oh, I didn't pay because he did that. You know, so not only did you lost a customer, you had a person say negative things to make themselves look good. So I don't do that. Period. So I don't think any business should offer no credit check financing. So they'll finance me right away, and you can do payment plan with them.
All right.
So I don't think you should. Is that the question you're asking me?
Yeah. No.
You shouldn't do that.
Yeah. It's so.
If you give me PPF on a payment plan, what's to say I lose my job in 3 months and I'm not gonna come back and pay you no more? You'll never see me again. And then I get my job again, I'm gonna go somewhere else because I remember I owe you money. I don't need them no more.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so running a business, multi-million-dollar business, one of the most effective ways to get there is to save costs, right? How do you tell a shop owner to, or what are your methods of actually, like, let's just say you don't use all of a fluid. Do you recycle it for the next job? Do you keep it for the next job?
For like oil change, you mean?
Yeah, just for anything, any parts or anything in general.
Okay, so
like what are your I guess the best way to ask that is what are your tips to like kind of help people save money in the beginning?
Okay, so I'll give you something for you because you're in the wrap business.
Sure.
So a wrap roll comes in 24-yard roll.
Okay.
So if it takes me 20 yards to wrap a car, those extra 5 yards are not theirs. That's mine. Your wrap is on the car.
Right.
So if I need that piece of material for the same car I had a fender bender,
right,
or for the next car, that's my material.
Valid. That's
I'm charging for that.
Yeah. That's
it's not your material. You can pay my bills if you want.
No, that's valid.
Hey, real quick story on my mom saying. I think I should tell you why my mom said that.
Yeah.
So we were at Sharpstown, and I had Whitney Merciless, Brian Bainham, both from the Texans, and Slim Thug at my shop all at once, and nobody planned it. They just happened to show up all at once. So I'm like, oh shit, you know. So I'm like talking to them. We're in the showroom, and my mom happened to be there. So she's at the counter, and a little man from the neighborhood walks in from Sharpstown. And he don't give a damn who they are. You know, you don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
And he tells me in Spanish, man, it's hot because it was summertime. He's like, my car turned off down the street. I need some water and take me to get my car started. I said, man, the water's right there, man. Go have a seat. And my mom looked at me because I kind of like told him, I guess you could say, in a hasty way, you know. And he didn't listen. He came back with the water to take me to my car. So I said, okay, let's just go. And it was a loose battery terminal, so I fixed it on the spot. He left. Came back. I handled my 3 customers that were there. They left. So when my mom looked at me, she said, why'd you do that? Why'd you treat the customer that way? I said, Mom, I got 3 millionaires in my shop. She's like, but you told me all the cars are the same. You work on a Honda or Bentley, it's all the same thing to you. It's a ticket. It doesn't matter the car. She said, customers also want to feel like that. Make everyone feel like a millionaire. And that's when you do your job right. I said, that's easy enough. So that's what I do now. Everyone, in my eyes, is a VIP customer. And
that's amazing.
It evens the playing field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you do that, there's obviously drawbacks, right? You're gonna have people to try to take advantage of you. Have you ever or maybe have gotten close to being scammed or anything?
All day, man. So the only thing I can tell you with that is experience. You have to just know and go with your gut feeling. Man, so back in the day, like I told you, we were in high school when I was at the shop. Yeah. People would come to me and say, man, I have a stolen credit card. Let me charge $10,000 and they write me a $5,000 check tomorrow. I said, well, shit, what do I need you for? If I'm gonna do that, I can do my damn self. Yeah. You know, you have to just think about it. I never did that, but my point is, why would I do that? You know? And sure enough, then they will come back and the credit card company will fight it and take it out the account. And then people will come. Oh, I had a customer one time who came in. You're the pastor at a church. And he said, I'm here for your reviews. And we worked on his car. And then like 2 days later, he came back and says it messed up on him. I need to redo the job under warranty. Well, he didn't know we put VIN numbers in our tickets, and it was not the right VIN. It was a different VIN, same color car, same year, make, model. And he tried to finesse me, man, to do an alternator over again. Like I couldn't tell if it was a new one or used one. A pastor. So my point is,
man of God.
Yeah, man. Anybody will do it to you. The only way you can kind of deflect it while not looking bad is just experience, man. Just be open-minded to good and bad things that can happen to you. You know.
How are we on time? We're good. It's great. What's the time on?
I don't even know.
Doesn't even know. This is a great conversation. This is a great list of questions. I think for me, in terms of business, I kind of have like all the questions that I kind of need.
Do you guys have any questions?
These were their questions, no?
Anything else?
Oh, just one quick question.
Yeah.
Do you charge a customer a shop fee, or is that rolled into your labor rate?
So cool. The cool thing is, back when we were
the question was, do you charge your customer a shop fee?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I do. So back in the day, we were pen and paper invoices, and I would never put the shop fee on there. But then when I went from handwritten invoices, because I'm that old, to computer generated ones, I said, man, that's a lot of work. I don't know about that. And then he said, shop fees. You're going to end up with X amount of dollars a year in shop fees, money you're missing. And that got my attention. Wow. So yeah, there is shop fees. I mean, we do, how much, 70% aerosol alcohol you're going to go through. Microfiber towels, brake clean, all that stuff, you know?
So for anyone who doesn't know what a shop fee is, can you define it to them?
It's just basically an extra charge on your invoice that the invoice populates itself, and that goes to cover my floor covers, 70% isopropyl alcohol, the make readies when we do a cleanup, and Armor All tires. I mean, all that stuff has to come from somewhere. I'm not charging you for the Armor All tire. I'm giving you that complimentary. So that's where the shop fees are at. It's just how to do business.
I guess I have 2 more questions.
Yeah.
One is, what do you think sets your shop apart from other shops?
Oh man,
because you say you have people from like Florida or like Austin or just anywhere, because TikTok kind of reaches people anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm. So I say that I think I'm exactly, and I know the shop. So you can come to me for. I had a customer that has a fleet of cars for his business, like a bunch of vans. Right. And then his daughter has a Corolla. He's got a Lambo. His wife has a Mercedes, and his son has, I think, an Audi RS5.
Wait, his son has an RS5, but his daughter drives a Corolla?
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
And, yeah, I know, right? I didn't think about that. But the cool thing is that they all come here. And and at one time, I was joking with him and try to piss him off, like just playfully. He said, well, you're not getting rid of me, man. You know, I come here and I have one person to point the finger at. And he said it about me. He said, your ego's in the right spot. And another customer, what do you mean his ego? And I'm like, yeah, what do you mean my ego? And I care about my work so much that I want you bragging about me. I'm not here to be like, I'm better than you. I want you bragging about me. See, you're just a part of the the problem there that I got to do your car top notch for you to go brag about me. So you're a casualty of war. I got to do a badass job on your car for you to go brag about me.
Yeah,
that's my ego.
No, I love that. It's one thing is that I've always really learned is a lot of people, especially in the sales world, right? Because everybody's a salesman, right? You're a walking billboard. You kind of you walk around in how you want others to perceive you, right? In your case, it's like you want others to perceive you that like you mostly care about other people's experiences rather than like how you feel. Your feeling of the business side is kind of like on the back burner as long as the customer's happy.
When you came in here, did you notice how I'm dressed with all my techs?
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
You can't tell who the general is when you walk with the soldiers. Like, I'm not here to wear a Louis belt and a Gucci watch. I'm here to do my job, and I think that displays to everyone that my priority is the customer and the car, because in the long scheme of things, that's the fun part. That's my journey, right? This is the meaty part of my life. And so all the conversations I had with people, like you, for example, you have more experience in doing podcasts than I do. Like, I'm learning from you as we're doing the podcast. No. So I mean, it's every day learning from people, and that's the beauty in life. I think the power of people, and I said it before and I'll say it again, is a more powerful subject than math and social studies. I think people should learn people.
I think what you just defined is the difference between a leader and a boss, right? So like in all the ways that I've run my business, I've always been in the trenches too. You ask me to clean a toilet, I'll clean a toilet. Nothing is too much above below my pay grade. I'm willing to do anything and everything, and I think that's what makes your shop really special, because the people that are in it are willing to ride for you, and it's really hard to find, to be honest.
Yeah, they do.
Because honestly, in this world, it's really hard to find an actual leader rather than a boss. Everybody wants to be a boss because they say the word, "Oh, I'm a boss. But do you ever hear anyone bragging about being a leader? No, I don't think I've ever heard that. Like, there's not a lot of people like Jeremy, for example. Like, he's a leader. Like we do everything for the people first, because we want to make sure that in order to have a thriving business and to become a successful entrepreneur, businessman, you have to be willing to do anything and everything.
Funny thing, before my dad passed away, I was at Sharpstown. And I said, man, when I get my own shop, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Finally, when I get my own shop. And when he came into my showroom, I was on my knees cleaning. I think somebody had spilled a little bit of Pepsi on the ground, so I was cleaning it with the microfiber towel. And he started laughing. He's like, son, I thought when you get your own shop, you're not going to do that. And that made it concrete right there that when you have your own business, you got to do whatever it takes.
Absolutely.
He said, you learn today by doing whatever it takes. Clean the toilet. Nobody wants to clean the toilet, man. And matter of fact, if all my guys are busy, I don't want to cleaning it either, because that's lost revenue. So I'll go clean it my damn self.
No, absolutely.
All day.
I think I learned that from my parents too. They do anything and everything. So I think one last question I want to leave you with is, I have two young striving entrepreneurs in front of us, which are my business partners. I'm in my 30s, so I'm still young, but they're in their early 20s. And so what I want to ask of you is to give them one piece of advice, besides the customer always needing to leave happy, besides treating them like a millionaire, one more piece that they'll always treasure forever.
Think out of the box and listen. Just that's the main thing you can do. You have to be better than the person yesterday. I come in here not knowing anything every single day, and my tech's like, "What do you mean?" So I got into my lead tech one time when he first started, because he would diagnose something and he would tell me what it is, and I will go behind him to double check it. So he came to my office manager and said, "Man, this guy doesn't trust my diagnostics." And I said, "No, I'm just making sure it is right, because I don't want the customer to come back complaining about anything." So that stemmed into a lot for me. So you will learn from your staff as much as you learn from your mentor, from your customers. Everybody will teach you something every day. So tomorrow you come back better. Like, forget the guy from yesterday. You're coming back better than him yesterday. Every day you have to just be open-minded to everything. Even if somebody comes in and they sound stupid, just hear them out, because at the end of it, you might learn something really valuable. Just that's what I can say. That's what you got to do. Took me years.
So listen.
Yeah. So listen. As dumb as that sounds.
All right. Well, Araldo, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you, man. And great luck to you. And wish you success. And
thank you so much.
Stay tuned for the podcast.
All right. Thank you.